Started.
Nothing's worse than having my phone buzz multiple dozen people that can't see us.
There we go. We're good there. Okay. So what do you guys do for work? You in real estate or?
We're retired.
Okay.
And we've been landlords, and we're getting ready to move to Mexico, so we have some properties to go and sell.
Oh, nice. Good. So you guys got some here then? You're here in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Okay. How many properties do you guys have?
We still have our house and 2 properties.
Nice. A couple guys from the fire department moved down to Mexico.
Yeah.
One moved to Puerto Vallarta. The other one is some, I can't remember the name, but it's a little town. It's not one of the big ones.
San Miguel?
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Okay. Yeah, they retired and like, we're out of here. So, and then you guys ever heard of Mike Baird? He did the flip it on Spike, where they were buying at auction and flipping them here in Salt Lake. No, he moved down to Mexico out here too. Like he and his partner sold off what they were doing, and he moved down there. So it's a lot cheaper, I guess. But why are you guys moving down there?
Cheaper, medical's better.
Gotcha.
It's more fun.
Yeah. You own your rentals outright?
Yeah.
Do you? Awesome. So you guys just want something you don't want to manage it anymore.
Well, yeah, we take them with us if we could.
I'm gonna show you how you can. No, I'm serious. Tonight we're gonna show you how you can. We one of the things we'll go over is how to do real estate all over. So that's why tonight's a good one for like, well, you guys aren't beginners, but it's kind of a bait of real estate. Because depending on your level, you can decide what you need. So how long have you guys been investing for then? You own them outright. It's been
We bought the fourplex in 1989.
Oh, nice.
And we bought the
Well,
guest
one
house.
that we sold already, said,
Yeah. 91. We bought. Right there downtown. Live there?
No, I live in Magna, but I go downtown. We do a lot of real estate out there.
Yeah, we got the Off-Broadway Studios.
Oh, okay.
Where that is?
Yeah. So, end up on the benches? Not quite like on the.
It's
and you know where the old Della Fontana restaurant used to be that's now a sushi place? On 4th East.
Oh, yeah.
You know where Greeks and Blocky is?
Yeah.
Right next to Greeks and Blocky is Mail Express.
Yes.
We're right across the street from Mail Express.
Oh, okay.
It's 4 floors, all studio apartments.
What did you do before you retired?
I was a geologist.
Wow.
I worked for the state,
Oh, nice. What would you do with the city?
licensing.
On just a lot of different things? Oh, okay. I'm a firefighter with the Unified Fire Authority.
You know Dave Starlin? Right. He's been an old timer.
The name's not familiar.
Yeah, he's probably too good.
Yeah, I've been there 9 years now. So,
He helped me with, he was a plumber, but he was also a fireman before.
oh, okay.
But he helped me with that building about 25 years ago.
Yeah, we've had a lot of guys come and go. A big department.
Fire station number 2 is burnt down.
Salt Lake City's did, yeah.
How
Yeah.
ironic.
Actually, you'd be surprised how often that happens. Fire stations, they have a huge number that burn down every year. Because you got the guys that are in the fire station, they're cooking food, they're doing all kinds of different stuff.
So people in their houses.
Well, but they don't get a call where within 1 minute you got to be out the door so on your way to the call.
Oh, you forget to turn off what's on the stove.
They forget stuff, yeah.
Well, I thought this happened while they were all asleep.
I think that one did. I think it was a dryer.
The dryer?
I think it started in the washing and the laundry area. I think it was like the dryer or something, but yeah, it's surprising how many fire stations actually catch fire. Yeah. We had, I was at the station in Draper that caught fire. And my crew was the ones that were there the day it caught fire. I wasn't on. I was at a different station. But they ended up fighting the fire in their underwear because they were all asleep when the fire started. So they came running out. The engineer was running around in socks and basically his underwear while he's at the pump panel. And
Here comes the news.
yeah, yeah. Well, the best part was it was the cops that told them their station was on fire.
Sweet lieutenants.
No, why? Somebody at suite number 10?
There's a reminder.
Who was sent to suite number 10?
It's on that list.
Justin sent it out to suite 10. He's a little out of it today. Well, we got some people that are running late, but we're going to get started right at 6:30. What time is it, Tracy?
We have Paul and John.
No, we got 4 minutes. Okay.
I think this is the first time I had to drive in rush hour traffic.
Sorry about
I've
that.
been through 35 years.
Like, I am never doing that again.
I just live downtown.
Yeah, is that where you guys live right now? Downtown? Near that one you told me on 4th?
Well, we live on 19th.
We're closer to
Oh.
that than I.
Oh, we flipped a house down there just a little while ago. It was 754 East and 900 South, right across from the park. The old house that had been burned down.
Oh, yeah.
You guys ever see that one? It was kind of, it was just out there for 2 years being remodeled.
Yeah, it looks really, I think I went in there. White walls.
Yeah, yeah. And actually we were gonna remodel it. We got the engineer in there and everything to give us the plans for it. And as we're getting ready to do it, somebody came and said, hey, we'll give you $250,000 for it as is right now. We're like, so we're gonna make the same amount of money just selling it to you right now, or we can spend 4 months remodeling it and make the same amount of money. Yeah, it's yours.
The other side, so. I didn't know it was on fire.
That one burned a while.
I
It's
didn't know it
been,
was on fire. I didn't know. But it was like,
well, and it was years ago that it burned too. It wasn't
Yeah.
like just a couple years. It's been that way for years.
it was for sale last summer, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't remember why the guy never sold, but he finally decided to sell, and we were just lucky to be there when he wanted to sell. So he had done a lot of work on it, but he had no engineered plans. He had reframed it with no engineering. So
Did you see the one that was going down where Pizza Bruce was? It's,
it burned.
no, well, it had burned, but it was still an active chicken.
I don't remember that one.
It's between 5th East and,
What's that park?
yeah, Park Street.
Okay.
There's an alley, and it was just east of the alley, facing the park on.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
A real, looked like a tear down.
Yeah.
It sat there probably for 10 years after the fire.
Guy bought that for $258,000 in that condition.
Wow.
And then he went in there with a crew, like 6-man crew, worked on it for 6 months. Dug out the basement,
Dug out too much in the basement.
replaced all the windows,
Glass.
not just the glass, but the whole windows.
Wow.
Wood windows. We must have spent $40,000 on windows.
Yeah, the wood are not cheap.
Yeah. And, yeah, I had the same company just did screens for my windows. They wanted like $12,000.
For screens?
Yeah. I said, well,
For a fourplex.
yeah.
Still, oh my
Well, I had
gosh.
about 50 windows.
I don't know.
Oh,
But
okay.
still,
Yeah, but that's
I said, well, shoot, I'll get the tools and I'll do it for that kind of money.
right.
Last time I made $12,000 that easy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, anyway, he put a lot of work in that place. And,
A lot of money.
yeah. I don't know if he's gonna make it back. He's got a
Is he trying to flip it so he got it for sale again?
Yeah.
Maybe.
720,000.
That's my in-laws' place right now.
No, he went in there for grid.
Everybody's putting granite now. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, my in-laws, I helped them remodel their place just barely so that they could sell, because my father-in-law just retired. And he wants to put his money into real estate and then just not have to go back to work. He was kind of retired because they sold the business, not because he wanted to retire. So we remodeled his house down in Draper, and it's on 1.5 acres, and he's trying to sell it for $720,000. But it's got a rental apartment in the basement, 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
They put a mother-in-law apartment in the basement.
That helps, yeah. Well, he had a back house on the property too, so he's got, and you can also put a kitchen on the top floor because it used to be a polygamous house. So technically, his house in Draper could be a 4-apartment, huge apartment, yeah. Not legally, but hey, dude. Welcome. Should we get started, Tracy? Come out there. People come in, we'll just have them come sit down. We got some more chairs set up just in case. Here. Turn the music off. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Taylor. Been looking at real estate for many years. When I was just getting out of high school, I decided I was going to get a degree in computer science, and had other friends that got into real estate, and I thought that I knew what I was doing and they didn't have a clue. And these days they're all retired now and I'm still slaving away. And about 4 years ago, I met an individual that was just lighting it up in real estate, going in, rehabbing homes, doing a fantastic job, finding all kinds of deals, just really tackling it. And I took him as a mentor. He's been absolutely amazing. And I'm proud to be able to introduce him tonight. He has some amazing things to go over with you. Booker Hatch.
I'll turn the lights off. You guys want, is this better if I turn the lights off so you can see the screen better? Okay. Okay, so we've got some people that are online watching this, so they're a little ways away, so some of the things I'm going to say will pertain to them. So if it doesn't sound right, just know that it's probably for them. And Tracy's going to be answering questions for them in the back. So welcome. Like Tracy said, my name is Booker. We'll go over who I am in just a sec, but I just want to kind of put this up to get us started tonight. Okay, first off, you guys know why you're here. Everybody know why you're here? This is an Amway meeting. We're gonna, no, just kidding. We're gonna talk about real estate tonight, right? Everybody realize that? Okay, good. We're in the right room. So just kind of, I like to put that up because a lot of people are waiting for their ship to come in, right? And most people, that's what they say, I'm waiting for my ship to come in. But how many times do they realize that the ship that you're waiting for to come in may very well be the ship that you have to build, right? And if you talk to a lot of people out there, it comes down to what have they done, not so much waiting for the right opportunity. You got to make those opportunities come along. So my name is Booker Hatch. This is my family right here. My wife Valerie, Alvin, Derek, and Spencer. This is Derek holding one of our puppies. I'm a firefighter. I've been a firefighter for actually 14 years now. I started out part-time, decided that's what I wanted to do. I really started out wanting to be a doctor. Went to school, decided I was going to go be a doctor, realized how much school it took, how much effort, and how much money you made, and said, no, not for me. So then my buddy said, hey, why don't you come do this firefighting class? So I went to do the firefighting class. He went on to be a pilot. I went on to be a firefighter. Love firefighting. The reason I got into firefighting is because of the adrenaline rush, but also because I got to help people. And the benefits that you got with being a firefighter were very good for your family. Your insurance and the ability to go spend more time with your family. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people want to be a firefighter. Once I finally got hired as a firefighter, I realized that was kind of an illusion. Our benefits keep getting worse. Firefighters die at the age of 50. It's like 95%. So all those illusions that I had of, you know, this heroic job just kind of got flushed down the toilet. So I started looking for something else because I knew I needed to make my money somewhere else. Got into real estate about, it's actually been about 7 years ago. I met Dustin, he's my partner in this office, and I was working on cars. I was doing alternative fuels. He brought a car to me. I asked him what he did. He said, oh, I'm a real estate investor. And when you tell somebody that, most people ask you, what? How do you do that? So that's what I did. He sent me to a course, had me spend $20,000, go take a training course, because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know who to talk to. My parents had never done it. After spending $20,000 on that first seminar, I went and bought or found a few houses, put them under contract, and then wholesold them to other people, and made about $10,000 to $15,000. I said, hey, this is the way to do it, right? Making money. So got into real estate, kept going. I purchased, it's actually more than dozens of homes. This is an old slide, but we purchased a lot of homes. We have 29 doors right now. We have a 13-plex, a 10-plex, a lot of single-family residences. I asked myself when I started doing this, and as I had time as a firefighter to do it, how could I get my family into it? Because my family wanted to get into real estate, but they didn't want to spend the time. Some of them had money, some of them didn't, but they all wanted to get into real estate and make money, because can you make a lot of money in real estate? You can, right? Can you lose a lot of money? And there are people that have lost a lot of money. And that's what I didn't want to do. I wanted them to get into real estate and not lose a lot of money. So I started looking around. Just in Mexico, we had a big trip. We went down there for 2 weeks in Puerto Vallarta. Not quite where you guys are going, but we had the cleaning ferries 3 times a day in our room, so it was kind of nice. So here's a question, and I know some people in here are retired and some people aren't, but the question that I like to pose to a lot of people is, if you quit today or lost your job, how long could you last? You just got to think about that. I know my number. What's your guys' number? If you quit, how long could you last? Julia, how long could you last? A few months?
Just months.
Just months? You know, and I've been doing real estate, and I could do a little bit longer because I got a few properties, but not that much longer. I'm still building right now, right? What if you got sick or injured and couldn't work? I'm a firefighter. My skills are very specialized. There's not a lot of other jobs I can just jump into. And if I get injured, I don't get to be a firefighter anymore. So that was one of the things that always went through my head, because I saw guys get injured. I saw guys leaving the fire service and having nowhere to go and spending years trying to find the next job. What can you do to change that? So, I mean, a lot of people are in that situation, but what can they do to change that? You can work more hours, you can work another job. I mean, what are the options out there? You can start a business, right? And then you're going to be spending 80, 90 hours, depending on the business. You could come up with intellectual property, design something, make something that you sell and you get royalties. So there's not a lot of options. Keep going. There we go. I like to throw this up here too, because the financial outlook for the average American is pretty bleak. USA Today said few workers are truly confident that they are going to have a comfortable retirement. 60% of workers have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. And after 2009, there's a lot less, right? This is actually a little bit wild that they posted this. Even 1 million may not be enough for retirement. 2/3 of all people rely on Social Security for 50% of retirement, and 1/3 for at least 90%. What do most people do? They're employed or self-employed, right? They work hard for 30 years, save money in 401ks, Roth IRAs, different things like that, and then they spend down the retirement, and they hope that it doesn't run out. Is that roughly what we've been taught to do, right? Save and save and save. Hopefully you've planned ahead enough for however long you're going to live, and your money's not going to run out before you die. And that's really what we're taught in school. Even my economics class was teaching that. Kind of sad. Retirement fears. Not saving enough money and running out of money. Welcome to Walmart. Get your stuff and get out, right? How many people do we know that either retired, wanted to retire, or were already retired, and then things got bad? And now what are they doing? You know, most of the baby boomers were taught, okay, you're going to work 40 years. We're putting into your savings. We're putting into your retirement. You're going to have a pension. And now they're retired, but how many of them are actually able to support themselves? It's not a whole lot. In fact, I think if the numbers are right, it's about 5% of Americans are stable when they retire. The rest are relying on somebody else, family, Social Security, or something like that. So here's our stimulus. We're still waiting. Sometime it'll come. Here's a question that I like to pose. So let's say you want to retire. How much money would you need to save to generate a $5,000 a month retirement income, assuming you're making 4% on your money? and so that it doesn't run out? 125,000? 1.5 million. It's a little more than we thought, but how realistic is that? How many people have 1.5 million? Some people have it in assets, right? But how many of us, even if we had it in assets, how many accounts out there and things give you 4%? How many stocks, bonds, mutual funds guarantee you 4%? A lot of them say they can get it, but there's not really many out there that guarantee it, right? And when the market goes bad, what happens to that guarantee? It's kind of a moot point. So how do we save first 5 million, and then how do we get 4% on that money? And is that enough? That's what we need right now to make 5,000 a month. Is 5,000 a month in 20 years going to be enough with inflation? Is it going to do the same amount? Right, right. So sometimes that's not even a realistic number. So what we like to do is see if you're in the right room first. This is our survey to find out if real estate is really for you, at least this type of real estate. So we're just going to run through these questions. Now, we like to give these surveys out to people that are trying to find out about real estate. There's a lot of people that come to us. It's something they've thought about doing, but it's just a thought. So we'd like to find out. So here's some questions. Do you own your own home or any rental properties? Actually, here. I think Tracy had these set up. Go ahead and fill these out if you haven't filled out one before. And I'm going to go to the website. Now, anybody that's online, you can go to the website and fill out the survey. It'll help keep you along with us. Let me pull it up for you real quick. I'm just going to pull it up real quick, Tracy. Oh, there we go. So the website, so that everybody can see it online, is right here. realestatesuccessbuilders.com/real-survey or -booker. So if you'd like to just go on and do the survey, this will kind of keep you along with us. Let's take the survey off there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Still good? Still good. Okay. So do you own your own home or any rental properties? Have you ever thought about or wanted to get into real estate investing? If you're here, you probably thought about it, right? Have you ever purchased books or courses on real estate investing? Is your retirement set so if you had to quit working tomorrow, you would be set for life? If you had extra money from rental properties to vacation more or spend more time with loved ones, could this decrease your stress level? Now, granted, a lot of these questions are kind of weighted to get you to say yes, right? Because if you're here, probably going to say yes to these questions. Are you open to making additional lifetime residual income? If you didn't have to buy courses or manage properties and get it into real estate with 5 or more properties free and clear in the next 5 to 10 years, making an extra $5,000 to $5,000 per month, would you like more information on that? So just fill these out. We're going to go on from this, but this survey is what we use to really see if real estate is something that people are interested in. So we're trying to find out if they already have real estate, if they've done real estate, and if it's something that really interests them. On a scale of 1 to 10, just kind of run it through your own heads. Is real estate something that would interest you if you could make more money and it would keep coming in? That's kind of the best question. Okay, so we're going to talk about a company that we work with that came up with a really good way of doing real estate. The company's name is Strongbrook. Has anybody heard of Strongbrook before? No? Some of us, okay. There's 3 pillars of freedom that Strongbrook came up with. Before we go to that, well, let's do a legal disclaimer so you guys know. What this is saying is that real estate is not guaranteed. We're not guaranteeing you that you're going to make a fortune in real estate. It's going to be dependent on you. And can you lose money in real estate? Yes. We're going to be there to help you, but there are risks involved with real estate. And if you want to see a detailed legal disclaimer, you go to www.strongbrook.com. So goals for today. Show anyone how to have an additional 5 properties free and clear in the next 8 to 10 years, making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. How to have your vacations and car paid for if that's a lot of people come looking for that, making an additional $200 to $5,000 per month. And agents, how to make an additional $34,000 off clients that they normally would just sell 1 house to. How to get into real estate without buying courses or managing properties and get your first house this year if you don't already have one. Okay, so how many of you could use extra money in your life? I think most of us could say yes, right? We could figure out a way to spend it. How many of us could use a little extra time for family, friends, loved ones? How many could use an extra 10 vacations a year? That's me right there. I need the 10 vacations, that's for sure. I could use a nice world vacation. How about you guys?
I just need extra friends.
Extra friends
You know
to
what?
take you on vacations.
You know what? You get rich, extra friends come.
Yeah, but usually they're saying, hey, why don't you take me on vacation, right? They're not paying for it. So why do people get into real estate? Residual income, passive income, your money works for you, right? How many of us work a job where if you stop working, you're not getting paid? But if you have a rental property, what happens with the rental property? It continues to pay you as long as it's being managed and things are set up right. So what pays for your retirement? It appreciates. Does real estate usually appreciate? Now granted, Detroit's a bad example. They're kind of in a slump, right? They're dying, they're converting houses back to raw land. But for the most part, has most areas in the US gone up in value? If you could have bought a house in 1950 in Utah and saved it, even if you bought it for $50,000 more than it was worth, would you still have more value in it today? You would.
It holds its value better than cash does.
Right. And gold, silver.
It doesn't go up in value. It holds its value. It's the dollars that give it.
Right. It's just a hedge against appreciation.
It's a hedge against
Inflation. Inflation. Thank you. Yes. It's always there. It's tangible. Anyone can do it. Most people don't know they can do it, but there's different ways of doing it. You leverage your money. You leverage other people's money. There's tax benefits. A lot of things you can write off. It's like I said, hedge against inflation. Diversification. So putting your money in several different things so that you're not all in one basket. Pride of ownership, stress reducer. Sometimes, if you're managing your own properties, that can be opposite. And it's generational. You can pass it on to your family and friends. I wouldn't pass it on to friends, probably family, but you can pass it on. So what is financial freedom? Income that continues to be generated after initial investment of time, money, and effort. Compared to earned or linear income, where you get paid one time for your work performed. So financial freedom is getting paid over and over again after you put the time in, right? A lot of artists, sports athletes, people like that, that's what they do. They put the time in once and then they keep getting paid, right? And that's the best way to make the money. Our definition is have time and money to do what you want, when you want, for however long you want, with who you want, right? It kind of sums it up. We do what we want when we want. This could be us, but many of us are poor. Now, isn't that what we say? One day I'll do that. One day I'll buy that car. One day I'll go on vacation. Usually one day is just us saying we don't know how we're going to do it. We'd love to do it, so we're saying one day, right? But what are we doing to try and get to that goal? So here's a question before we really get into the meat of this. What's your number? What is the number you would have to have coming in every single month to be financially free? To be able to not have to worry whether you lost your job or what happens. Ed, I think you guys already have your number. You're probably already getting it.
It's probably less than 5, because we don't have it yet.
Less than 5?
Yeah.
Julia? 4 or 5? That would make you financially free where you cover all your debts, no worries, right? Something to think about.
I'm gonna go with 10 because financial free for me and no stress means I pay off my debt and I still have a lot left over in my life.
So every one of us can come up with a number. And that's where you want to start. What's your number that you have to have every single month to cover insurance, to cover any bills you have, to cover if you decide to go on a vacation? What is that number? And that's what we want to start with, right? Because you want to build backwards from the end. When you design something, you were an engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you design something, do you start from the beginning or do you say this is what I want to design and kind of almost reverse engineer? You build towards that design.
No, you know what you need, what it needs to do, and you look backwards from there.
Right. Real estate is the same way. Because if you start just going, okay, I'm just going to buy one house, but you don't have a goal on what you're trying to accomplish with that, something will come up. Something will get in the way. So you want to start with the end in mind. How would you feel if you were making that money every single month? Would that relieve some stress? Did you know 80% of marriage and divorce are because of financial problems? The man and the wife fighting. That would kind of help, right, if you didn't have the financial problems. So here's a good question that we always ask. Who wants change? If I asked a room full of people who wanted to be a millionaire, their hand. Every single one of them, right? But if I asked, who wants to learn how and do the things to become a millionaire? How many of those people would keep their hands up? Becomes a different question, right? Okay, so let's go into this. Financial freedom, we're just gonna jump over this. The doctor, my cousin is a doctor, by the way, she spent $250,000 to become a doctor because she went to a private school. She makes, I don't know, quite a bit, but let's say her combined assets are $450,000, but she has no residual income. What happens when she stops working? She's still not free, right? She still has to pay those bills. She still has those debts until she finally pays those off. What about the contractor? Makes $86,000 a year, pretty good. Has $1 million in raw land, but no residual income. What does he have to do to get his money from that raw land? He still has to sell it, right? And hopefully he can do it, because sometimes raw land doesn't sell right away. It takes some time. But what about the teacher? She doesn't make very much money, but she spent the last 20 years getting rental properties. She's got 10 of them, making $3,800 a month, which is higher than what she makes at the school. Is she worried if something happens, if she should break a leg or something should go wrong? What about if the school lays her off? She's good. She's got rental properties, right? So that's what we want kind of instill in everybody's head, in everybody's mind today. So earned income is trading time for money. We work an hour, we get paid an hour. We do just enough to not get fired. They pay us just enough for us not to quit. Isn't that kind of how it works, right? And if you want better, you pay a little bit better. We accumulate. We put things in savings, home equity, IRA. Residual is true financial freedom. Now, what do most people do? They're told to pay off their house, right? And then when they retire, what do they usually do after that? They get a reverse mortgage, or they do something and they start spending down what they saved for the last 40 years. And they hope that it doesn't run out. That's what my grandparents did. That's what my parents are trying to do, but my dad can't even retire yet. They haven't saved enough money. So what are the 4 ways that you can get that residual income? You've got real estate, business, other investments, and intellectual property. Of all those 4, which one produces the most millionaires? Real estate. Because every other one of those relies on real estate, right? You can't have a manufacturing plant without real estate. You can't ship things without real estate. You can't mine without real estate. So real estate kind of plays into everything. But are there other ways of doing it? You can always, and hopefully you build it big enough that you can walk away and have somebody else manage that business, right? And that's when you become free with the business. But if things go wrong, where does the buck ultimately stop? It stops at you. I really like this. This is a lot of my friends. Instead of repaying my student loan, I'm returning my diploma. It didn't work. 65% of people that graduate never even work in the field that they got their diploma, that they got their degree in. They work somewhere else. So we just want to kind of instill that with you. Now let's talk about the different ways you can invest. The S&P 500, the best that they've done over the last 20 years in their best performing assets is 10.8%. So in the last 20 years, if you had it in their best one, you could get 10.8%. How much would you need to save every month at 10.8% interest rate to get that 1.5 million? $1,798 a month. How many of us right now can save $1,798 a month and guarantee that we're getting 10%? Very few, right? We could do it, but most people just can't. So let's go on to Strongbrook. Now this is my friend Chris Crone. I met Chris Crone several years back. He was going to BYU. He was going to be a doctor. Realized that doctor wasn't for him, just like it wasn't for me. And trying to figure out what he was going to do with his life. But at the time, he had a job where he was selling courses on real estate investing. He was one of the trainers, never bought real estate in his life, but worked for a company that sold $250 million in training courses over the 4 years that he worked there. And what he learned is that 90% of the people that bought the course never even opened the box. They would call them up to get them to the next part, and the person never even opened the box. So what he decided is like, these people, this is not the way to do it. Training courses don't work. I want to do it the right way. So what he did is he found 3 millionaires that had made their millions in real estate and bugged them until they became his mentors. And then he had them teach him how to get into real estate. He bought his first house, 6 months later bought his second. His first house had a basement apartment that he rented out, and his mortgage was only $400 a month. He also went into that one with equity. Bought the second one 6 months later because now the bank had given him credit for that, the money that he was getting in. Within 4 years, he had 25 houses. He graduated from BYU with a degree in statistics. Found out that his forte was numbers. Top in his class. That's what he loved to do, was figure out how things, how things played out. So he graduated from BYU 4 years later at the age of 26 with 25 properties and retired. Never went into the work field because he was making $13,000 a month. The next year, he turned 25 into 50, 50 into 100, 100 into, I don't know how many he's got now, thousands. But what he figured, when you have 25 properties, how much time do you have? Not a lot of time, right? Especially if you're doing everything yourself. And that's what he was doing. He was doing all the stuff himself. And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to get past 25. But what he did is he took and made Strongbrook, it was actually called REIC at that time, formed a company that had all of the parts underneath it. So he had real estate agents, he had mortgage brokers, he had loan officers, he had basically everything you need to do a deal under one company. And then they only got paid to work together. So the more deals they closed for the company, the more they got paid. So that's how he went from 25 to 50, 50 to 100, and 100, and so on and so forth, because now he had the systems in place. Good idea for that is, if you open a restaurant, how many restaurants fail? 95% will fail in the first year. If you open a McDonald's, how many McDonald's fail? It's the opposite, 5%. Why is there such a difference? It's because of systems. When you buy a McDonald's, they tell you exactly how to do everything, and they research it. And when something shows better, works better, they say, this is how we're doing it now. Well, that's what Chris Crone did. He took real estate and systematized it and turned it into basically a McDonald's. Wannabe doctor, worked selling real estate, 25 homes, figured out systems, duplicated it, started Strongbrook. He's done over 2,000 houses. So the solution that he came up with was business ownership, facilitated real estate, and personal development. All three of those working together. Because if we make a lot of money, but we haven't really developed ourselves, or we usually most people lose it. How many people have earned money in the stock or the lotteries? How many people that win in the lotteries keep that money? It's like 1%. Within 5 years, 99% of the people that win the lottery will have lost everything that they gained. And it's because of not knowing what to do with what they got, not being developed enough.
It's who buys lottery tickets.
That too, yeah. Well, and the other thing is, people that get into investing, I know somebody who was doing real estate investing, was making $80,000 a month. And she went broke and had to start over again. But it was because of her mind and how she was, money just accepts who you are. So if you haven't improved yourself and decided what you're going to do, money's just going to make you that much bigger on what you already do. Most millionaires will lose their fortune several times before they keep it. So that's what he didn't want to do. He didn't want to gain his fortune and lose it, gain and lose it. So Strongbrook, they've got over 200 professionals that are working together all over the United States to find these properties and do the deals. They've transacted hundreds of millions, proven how to successfully invest in an up and down market. Do we have up and down markets? Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Residual income business opportunity that has paid out over $5 million in commissions. In 2010, the SEC engaged in a review of Strongbrook. They had 95 complaints come against them. Took them 14 months to investigate Strongbrook. They couldn't find anything wrong. What they finally did is say, before you became Strongbrook, you held a meeting where you brought investors and you didn't have security guards at the door, so we're going to fine you for that. There was one other fine. I think they said, the other one was they had the average of the comps for one of the products they were doing. Instead of telling them the top and the bottom, they just told them the average, which is what everybody uses. So the SEC charged them for that. Other than that, they couldn't find anything wrong, so they said, great, you're good, go on your way. Services Strongbrook can offer you. So this is why I really like Strongbrook and why it works for a lot of different people, is because it's the buffet of real estate. Everybody that wants to get into real estate is at a different point. I don't need Strongbrook to do a lot of stuff for me, because I can go find my own properties and do a lot of that stuff. I set up my teams. But my dad, who has no time and has never done real estate, he needs somebody to hold his hand and help him do everything, right? So what Strongbrook set up is that they would find the properties, they would buy it, they would fix it, they would help you finance it, they would help you lease it, they help you manage it, they help you maintain it, and if you want, they help you sell it. So if all you want to do is look at a property on a piece of paper and go, that's my property, that's all you have to do. We've got several people that have spent about 2 hours a year on their properties. Give you an idea of real estate. We're not going to go over this in depth. But we have up and down markets. This is a bubble. This is a crash. Bubble trough. In 2008, oh, go back. Go back. Oh, go back. Went too fast. Here we go. 2008, we had a big bubble, right? It crashed. What? And in Phoenix, you could buy houses here for or you could sell them for $300,000. You would build them for $200,000. In 2008, when it finally crashed, you could buy them for $80,000. Now, why did we have this big crash? Just, we're not going to go into the whole big details, but one of the bigger reasons, if you're a contractor and you can build a house for $200,000 and you can sell it for $300,000, how many houses are you going to build? As many as you can, right? And that's kind of what started happening. You had people, you had speculators, you had contractors, you had all these people going in and building house after house after house because they knew in 6 months they'd sell it for a lot more than what they were building it for. Well, eventually at some point, there's going to be more houses than people to buy your houses. And that's what happened. We had more inventory than people to buy, and it crashed. Now we found that every 20 years, we have a little bubble. Every 80 years, we have a big bubble. Guess when the last big bubble was? The Great Depression, 1929. What were they doing right before the Great Depression? Same thing. Lots of speculation. Builders were building. People were investing in stocks. Same thing that we did in 2008. We've also found that what brings it back. In the Great Depression, their population growth was 3.7. Right now, we're 1.8. It took them 5 years to come out of the Great Depression. They say it was all because of all these plans and everything, and a lot of that health. It's taken us 10 years. Our population growth is half of what it was back in the Depression. You got to have enough people working and enough people buying to bring things back. So what Strongbrook does, what we decided to do, is we went into 5 different markets. We decided to go into Memphis and Indianapolis because we wanted to find the markets that you could put your money into rentals, would give you the most bang for your buck, and that didn't lose value. Memphis and Indianapolis lost very little value when the market crashed because they were stable. Their markets just didn't rely on what crashed the market. Orlando, Phoenix, and Vegas, those ones crashed hard, right? So what you do in Orlando, Phoenix, and Vegas is you buy it below, you rent it, you make a little bit of money while you're renting it, and you let it appreciate, and then you sell it. Once these markets are no longer good, take your money, drop it into Memphis and Indianapolis, let it sit in the rental markets till we get the next crash, then sell it from here and go back to those markets that have crashed. That way your money is continuing to work for you. Now, if you're going into an area, I tried to go into Phoenix back when it crashed. I tried to go and start up a team down there. It takes a lot of money and a lot of effort to start up a team, especially if it's a long distance, because then you got managers, you got all that kind of stuff. But I tried to go into Phoenix. Now, if you're going into an area, are there good and bad areas a street away from each other? There are, right? Magna's a good example. You've got $500,000 homes 1 street away from $90,000 homes in Magna. How do you know which streets to go to? How do you know where to buy? That's what you had to figure out, right? And that's what Strongbrook was working on. Now, Chris, when he started Strongbrook, he was a systems guy, right? He was statistics. So he went to his investor and said, how do I get into real estate the best way possible? There are hundreds of ways of doing real estate. What's the best way? And his investor friends told him, oh, there's this way. It's like, no, which is the absolute best way, the easiest way? So he came up with 5 criteria. What's the easiest way to get into real estate? Requires the least amount of money, least amount of time, least amount of effort, can work in an up-down market, and it helps the area that you're in. He came up with criteria that works for him. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,700 square foot, plus or minus a couple hundred, 2-car garage, no older than 10 years, and within 30 minutes of a major metropolitan area that has over 3 million people. And there's a lot of other criteria that fit into that too. But he came up with a very specific type of real estate. And the reason he did that is because the majority of people, that's what they wanted to buy or rent. And if you're trying to run your numbers and be more stable, you want to work with what most people are trying to do. So how the Strongbrook team works. They will sit down with you, depending on your current situation and what your number is and what you're trying to do. They will design your personalized game plan. They will educate you on how the markets work, the growth markets, the income markets, what might be best for you. Help you identify, access, and leverage assets, because a lot of us have assets that we don't know about. A lot of times, I can't buy a rental property. I can't buy my next house. But once they sit down and start going through the numbers, they realize that they have money where they can access it. Find and present deals that fit your game plan. So they're only going to bring you what you're looking for. Facilitate financing if that's what you want. You make the decisions, they just help. So real estate is, we can't make decisions for you. We can't just take your money and go do it for you. You still have to make the decisions. That's how real estate works. But we're going to advise you on it and see if we can help you get to where you want to go. What is your role? Get educated one-on-one with your coach, make decisions on properties, and expect bumps in the road. Things will happen. But expect that we are going to be there to help you. That's the nice part about it, right? Having somebody guide you when those things do happen. Keep calm, do real estate. So one goal is to find out how to get you your first home and double it every couple of years. Pretty good goal, right? If we can do that. If you can keep doing that, you breed like rabbits. You end up having a lot of houses. We give you access to the best growth markets and the best equity markets. So this gives you an example. Purchase price in Indianapolis, $89,900. The amount you need to finance is $25,975. Now, Strongbrook wants you to put 6 months of reserve in an account in case the worst should happen. Just so you know, we bought over 2,000, helped people buy over 2,000 properties. We have not lost one to foreclosure, including 2007, 2008, and 2009. Biggest reason is because they want you to be protected while you're doing things. Your monthly rent's $950, principal, insurance, tax, and interest, $465. Your monthly cash flow is $379. Your 5-year return on your money is 65%. Now this is just a cash flow market where you're doing a rental. So let's say you start off with one. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, you've got enough equity in that one. Now you sell it, you turn it into 2. Do that again, turn 2 into 4. The goal is to try and get you into 10. This will give you an example of what we've done over the last little while, what Chris has done since he started doing real estate. So let's say the first year we get you 2. It takes 5 years. We turn 2 into 5. Your net worth is $198,914. Your cash flow is $9,750 a year. But if you keep doing that and you keep letting it build and you keep working and working and working, within 20 years, our average numbers show you have about 13 properties. With 13 properties, your net worth is $1.8 million, and you're making $132,300 a year.
But how many years do you have left to pay off your loans at 20 years?
Well, we'll go over. So look, I'll give you an idea on that here real soon. How we work that. This is just giving you a brief idea, but we'll go. Well, let me do it right now.
If you weren't selling those houses,
Right, not yet.
paid off.
Huh?
You get them paid off.
Right. So what you're. Oops, I'm going the wrong
And
direction.
then when you get them paid off, then the cash flow goes way up.
So let's say you buy 2, turn 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16, 16 into, let's say, 25.
So then you have 25 houses with 30-year loans on them.
You do, but how much do you have to have down to buy an investment property?
Well, it's
20%. What's 20% of 25?
Do you know how many months you pay just to pay the commission on
Right. No, I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
24 months just goes to
You
pay.
totally get what you're.
No, I understand where you're coming from. I'm explaining why they use this system. The system you're talking about works just as well. I'm just explaining why Strongbrook does the way they do it, or why people use the system.
Well, you have a hard time gaining anything.
Well,
I just want to try.
you have 20%, because you have to put 20% down to buy these properties. You have 25 properties. How much is 20? How much of 25 is 20%? 5. So if you sold all these 25 off now that you've built up to it, and you buy 5 outright.
Yeah.
With the 5, you make $7 a month. Now you can do it the way you're talking about. Let's say you save 10% every month and put it into a property. And then all the rent you get from that property, you put back into the property also, and you just keep doing that. Within 10 years, the numbers are that you will own 5 properties outright. With this system, if done right in the right market, you can own 5 properties in 3 to 8 years. With this system, it takes 10 to 20 years. It's just a timeline.
The second way is entirely under your control. This one, you're at the mercy of what happens.
If you do it wrong, yes.
right or wrong, you're still at the mercy of
Well,
whatever happens.
we can go over it later. We'll go over it later. I'll explain more of why people do it. And it may not be the system for you. I'm just showing you one way that people do it. Okay. So let's open it back up. So going on, they help you also protect your wealth. So not only are we going to help, they're going to help you with real estate, they're going to help you set up a comprehensive real estate plan, a land trust if you want. They'll help you set up LLCs to maximize your protection. You save money, time, hassle. It's kind of your one-stop shop for everything you need to protect yourself and build real estate. What we do is we buy a property, we rinse and repeat. Do it over and over again. Now, when we got into before I started partnering with Strongbrook, I did my own real estate. And I'd seen my dad lose $330,000 investing with investors. So when Strongbrook told me the numbers, I wanted to verify what they actually did. I wanted to call some people and say, hey, what's the real story? These are all people that we called and asked exactly what's going on. Funny part was after I got done asking all these people and joined, my aunt told me, oh, I've been in Strongbrook for 3 years. So I asked her story. She bought a house in Lehigh. She had to have $25,000 down to buy it. It was a $240,000 home. She bought the house. They lease optioned it to somebody else who was going to buy it in 2 years. The guy continued to maintain the property, continued to upgrade the property. 3 years later, he decided he didn't want to buy it. They sold it. They just barely sold it. That house sold for $320,000. Every year, they made 14.23% on their money. When they sold it, they turned that number into 37% return on their money annually. That's why Strongbrook does it with the loans. In the appreciation markets, you can keep turning it over and over and over again. In the rental markets, you're just using the bank's money to augment your money. So that's why. Anyways, this is all the people. Now, if you guys want to contact them and ask them, we'll give you every one of their contacts. We've already asked them. They will talk to every one of you. They'll tell you their story and let you know anything you want to know about it. So there's the accumulation mindset. There's a residual income mindset. Strongbrook compares the gap. Since we started, everybody we work with, our number has been 15.92% on the low end. I'm not going to tell you what the high end is because people don't believe it. But our number on the low end is 15.92% return on your money. If you put that into the formula, and it goes, there we go. If you put that in the formula, this is your S&P, this is investing in real estate. With the S&P, you can maybe get up to 750,000 with that 10% that we talked about earlier. With real estate, whether it be Strongbrook or anybody else, you get quite a bit higher return on your money.
You know what what's nice about that last slide is that's what your net worth is, and it's not even talking about all the residual income that you're getting from your rentals where you're not getting that from your.
And that's not equated into it. We're just saying you take all the money from your rent and you spend it, you do whatever you want. This is just your property appreciates over time. You take that property, you turn 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, so on and so forth. So how does Strongbrook make money? That's a good question, right? If they're doing all this for you, why would they do it for you? So they make 5% on each deal because they have the real estate agents, they have the mortgage brokers in-house. If you decide to use them, that's how they're going to make their money. They make a small fee because they find the house and they buy it, and then they sell it to you. Now, they don't mark it up except for just a tiny bit to cover their overhead. They only make money when you buy houses. Yeah.
Why do they buy it and sell it to you instead of helping you buy it in the beginning?
No, that's what, well, because most people can't do the whole process of buying it before it gets repaired. They go to auctions, they buy short sales. They're not just buying your houses on the MLS.
I don't understand. Are you the agent and broker in Strongbrook?
Strongbrook is, yes.
So that's not on top of another broker fee.
Right. No, this is, most of that comes out of the agent fee, the mortgage fee that you pay anyways. So most of the fees that you pay when you're buying a house, you're just doing it in-house, and they have all the mortgage brokers and agents in-house, so then they get the fees from all of that.
Well, the house that you're buying has a listing at 7%.
It does, because there's a seller and a buyer's agent.
Yeah. So is this on top of that?
No. Because when they buy the house at auction or whatever, they're using an agent. And so that agent's bringing in 3% of that 5. When you go to buy the house yourself, you're getting a mortgage. Part of that is from the mortgage. There is a small percentage from transactional fee from when they bought it to when they sell it to you, but it's very little percent of that 5%. And if you want more specifics on it, I can get you in touch with the guy down that can explain number by number where the money comes from. So the reason they do that is because they only make money when you make money. How many agents do you work for that really don't care, or that come, are trying to sell you a house because they just want you to buy the most expensive house because they make more commission? It doesn't matter to them if you make money. They just want to sell you a house. They have a vested interest in every house you purchase. Why would they have a vested interest in every house you purchase? If you don't make money with Strongbrook, are you going to buy any more houses? You're not, right? You're going to go find something else. So the more money they can make you, the more houses you're going to buy. The more houses you buy, the more money they make. So if they can get you in the first house and double it, every time you buy a house, if you decide to sell with them, they also make 5% because they're doing a lot of the fees on that side. So let's say you buy one and then you sell it. They make 10% out of that total deal. 2, 4, 8, 16. Second way is per house you purchase. So I just talked about that. Now, Strongbrook, when they first got started, was called REIC. How many people out there have cash, credit, and a job to be able to buy a house?
20%.
About 20%. The other 80% are missing at least one or two of that equation, right? So when Strongbrook first started, you had to have cash, credit, and a job to buy a house. And what they did is you came in to get access to one house, you would pay, this is the other way they make money. You would pay $5,499 to get access to one house. If you wanted to do 4, you'd pay $8,000. Now that's not on top of the 5, that's just the 2 different packages. If you wanted to get unlimited houses, 20, 30, 40, 50 houses, whatever it is, you would pay $16,000. A lot of people started originally in the $5,500 package, but as soon as they started making money, they would upgrade, and most of the time people end up at the package because they want to buy as many houses as they can. You spend about $40,000 to $100,000 a month, or Strongbrook spent about $40,000 to $100,000 a month on advertising. When they first started Strongbrook, that was how they found people. You guys ever remember REIC on the billboards or the radio or anything like that? No? That's how they started. They were doing radio, TV, etc. They spent $40,000 to $100,000. It cost about $5,000 for each person that they brought in that bought a house. That was about what their marketing cost them. What they found was that most people would buy 2 properties their first year. That's how they started. 90% of homes that were being sold after the first few people got started were from referrals. 60% of new properties, or 60% of new customers came in from referrals. So what happened is all these people that had bought houses with Strongbrook, my aunt being one of them, were saying, hey, I'm referring people to you. Can I get a little bit of the cut? You're making more money. Why shouldn't I make more money? Strongbrook said, nope, we don't do that. It's too complicated. Agents were coming in and saying, hey, if I refer my clients to you, because I can't find them houses and you can, will you give me my agent commission? Because agents get a referral commission of 25%. And Strongbrook said, nope, can't do that. Sorry, go away. Well, the other problem was, what do you do with the other 80% of people? What about if somebody didn't have credit, good credit? What about if they had cash but didn't have credit and a job? How could they get a loan? They couldn't help them, right? So after a little while, Chris said, okay, let's try this. Let's start giving referral fees. We're going to get rid of the $40,000 to $100,000. We're not going to spend that anymore. We're going to give that out in commissions to people that refer other people. And we're going to give it to the agents that refer other people. So they came up with this other stride. This is called the partnering side. Because most of these people can't buy a house right now. They need to do something special to get into their first house. What this did is it helped people get into real estate 10 times faster. It would take me saving 10% about 8 years of saving that money to get to the first house, the first rental property, because I'd have to have 20% down. If I partner with somebody and the numbers stay true to what Strongbrook's been doing, it would take me about 3 years to have enough money to buy my first house, my first rental property. If I partnered with my aunt, I would have done it in 3 years. So how that works. The partnering side, people will usually come in at this part, at this amount here, because this gives them the training, it gives them the mentoring, it gives them all the people that they need to start doing real estate. But there are many different packages. Partnering, cash, and credit partners, 4 houses. So let's just go down this real quick, and we'll go through it fast. So what it does is they help you get ready to buy your first house. Everything you spend here will now go into the package to buy your first house. So nothing is wasted. It's like a forced savings plan. But what happened is, let's say I have $100,000. I can buy 1 home. If I don't use credit, don't have a job, I just have cash. 1 turns to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. But if I joint venture with people, I can buy 3, 6, 12, 24, 48 properties. Can only get 4 homes on credit. So how many houses will a bank give you loans for to begin with? 4. A bank will only give you loans up to 4 houses before they cut you off for 2 years, even if you can pay for it. They want to make sure that you're bringing the cash in. Then they'll give you up to 10 loans. So how do you get up to 48 loans if they'll only give you 10 loans? You have to partner with people. That's what they did. So let's say that I have $100,000 and Sean has credit and a job. We partner now. Rather than buy 1 house because it takes $100,000 to buy that house, now I've got 3 houses because it only took $30,000. We partner together. I'm 70% partner. He's 30 because we're using his credit and cash. We sit on those houses for 3 years. We're splitting the money that comes in every single month. In 3 years, we can now sell those houses. They now appreciate for $30,000 more. So let's say it comes in at $100,000, right? What is he going to walk away with in 3 years at 30%? About $30,000. Does he now have enough money to buy his first house? He does. Did I now turn 3 houses into 6? I can. That's why the partnering became so strong. And that's why people can get into real estate 10 times faster. So that's one of the ways that people get in. They partnered. The other way that Strongbrook came along and said, we had all those people who were asking for referral fees, right? Strongbrook said, okay, let's do this. It cost $16,000 for somebody to get in. We had somebody come in, they did the numbers, said, okay, you can pay out this much money and keep your company solvent. So what they said is, okay, I refer Ed. Ed buys a house. He comes in, he buys this package. It is now my fault that Ed came in because I referred you. So Strongbrook is going to pay me $3,000. Now, if Ed refers somebody, because he's making money now, what do you do at family functions when you're making money? People start asking, right? And unintentionally, you'll refer people. If somebody else comes in and they buy the $16,000 package, it's now Ed's fault. So Ed gets $3,000, and I'll get $1,000 because I ultimately got Ed in. And that's how Strongbrook works. That way, you say that you refer 10 people that buy this package, because ultimately people will go to that package, right, as they're making more and more money. Brings in $30,000. What can you do with $30,000? Buy another house. What if all those people refer people, so on and so forth? Another $30,000. You can retire in it, joint venture, own businesses. Now the last way they do it. So as people are buying houses, there's money that's being thrown around a lot of different areas, right? Strongbrook came along and said, okay, we're going to keep track of all the houses that are bought from people that you referred and your houses that you buy. As soon as 75 houses are bought, we will give you a check for $35,000. That's enough to buy another house. Therefore, it's called the home bonus. Now, real estate agent is another add-on down here for everybody else. So on average, real estate agents will make about $1,000 on a referral. So let's say I'm an agent. I refer Julia. You go and buy a house with Strongbrook. I didn't do anything besides refer you. I still get all of this up here. But as an agent, because when an agent buys a house, they get 3% commission, right? If I refer you as an agent, I get 25% of that commission. So now, every house you buy, I make an extra $1,000. My numbers are a little messed off here, but your goal is to turn a 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16, 16 to 25, 25 into 5, right? If you do the numbers out, you make on average, an agent will make on average about $34,000 more off of you buying those houses. Now the other benefit is when you sell the houses, guess what happens to the agent again? They make another $1,000. So it actually turns into $64,000. So this is the way that Strongbrook works the payments. This is how they make their money. This is how they help people get. Now I know this is really quick. If you want to get into more details on it, you can always sit down with me and we'll go over more of the logistics, how it works. But 3 ways to get started in real estate. First, start saving 10% in a separate bank account now. Even if you don't work with us, or practice saying would you like to try us with that? You can always just save 10%. If people, the garbage man can save 10% in an account, not touch it, and he can be retired in 10 to 20 years. You can do it. You don't need this system. How many people have done it? That's why the system's around. I know one lady that's done it. Well, actually, we know 2. She moved here from Mexico. They told her save 10% in your account, buy your first rental property. Pay that rental property off with the money coming in from rents, plus the 10% you're saving. Do it again. Do it again. She's now into it 10 years, and she owns 4 properties outright. She has $80,000 in a bank account, makes more money than the people that are in the houses that she's working in. You can do it. You have to be dedicated. You need to do it. Or do it by yourself, 30 years, 2% chance. Just save in a bank account, go to work. or work with Strongbrook and get properties in 5 to 10 years. Our numbers are this way because of how they've set the system up. Or you can work with Strongbrook on the referral basis, refer more people, and it can go a lot quicker because of those extra checks that you get. House with a plan. Now, this will give you an idea. We ran the numbers for kicks and giggles. Here it is. To say, on average, in their low appraisal markets, in their cash flow markets, it takes about 5 years for your house to gain enough value to where you can sell it and get to. So we said, what if we get 10 people together, each with $3,000? And that's all you ever put into it. You never put another cent in. You buy your first house. You invested $3,000. Your monthly income is only $30 a month. Yearly income's $360. 5-year net, $1,800. Total net equity, 5-year. So you made about 160% on your money in 5 years. It's not great, but it's better than most people, right? Now you turn the 1 into 2. You're still taking the, you spend this money. You're not putting this back into rental properties. You're spending this. We ran this just off of you buying the house, waiting for appreciation to happen, and selling it. You turn 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16, 16 into 32, 32 into 64, so on and so forth. It takes 40 years, but at 40 years, you have 128 properties.
I got a question.
Yeah.
That first line, if you started with 3,000 and you end up with 4,800 net equity, you've only made $1,800. So that's not 160%.
I was adding this with how much you brought in. Sorry, the terms on there are wrong.
Yeah, but if you have net equity of 4,800 and you start with 300, you only increased by 1,800.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not 160% would be.
But you
end up with 7,800.
What I'm saying is this added with this because you didn't lose that.
Right. So 1,800 compared to 3,000 is not 160%.
No. What I'm saying is
You got your $3,000 back.
yeah. What I'm saying is you sold that house, so now you have 3,000 plus 1,800. You didn't lose your money. It's not 160%.
If you sell the house,
The equation that I put in here didn't work quite
then
right.
you got to pay the commissions.
Right.
So you don't even end up with, you end up with less than 3,000.
No, but the commissions are already factored into it. Because when you sell the house, you pay the commissions off. I can sit down and run the numbers with you, but we'll have to do it. I know you're very number oriented. I can show you it later, but
Okay.
this is just, it really is 60%. I couldn't get the right equation in here to give you the exact right percentage, but it gives you an idea. It's really something like 50 or 60 is what you've made on your money right there. Because if you take 1,800, 3,000 divided by 1,800, you get about 60%. So the equation just didn't quite work on that side of it. But this gives you an idea, the power of how the real estate works and why you can do it. That's why I threw this up here. So what's the perfect job? You ask people, it's unlimited residual, what they want, unlimited residual income, enjoy people you work with, lots of perks, time freedom, low startup costs, economy proof, tax benefits, fun, great product, personal growth. What they don't want, a boss, a commute, talked about the commute today, which really sucked, the alarm clock, employees, politics, compromises, discrimination. We're not going to go over the job offer story. I don't have a lot of time, but wake up. You're not going to achieve wealth working a 9-to-5 job. Most people that have retired and retired happy did not just do it with a 9-to-5 job. They had something else. Most firefighters I know that have retired happy, 50% of them had real estate. And you don't find that out until you ask them later. They say, oh, I retired from the fire department. I made tons of money. I'm great. Then you find out the real story. Most of them had real estate. Want a recession-proof job? Think direct sales. So there's the different packages. My action plan was the $500 one. You get the tax deduction. You get a lot of stuff with it. We'll go over that. But so there's a $16,000, $7,000, or $8,000, $5,500, and then there's a $500 plan. Now, if you get the $500 plan, they're automatically now going to give you your first home. They're doing a trial run for the next month to see how many people will start buying their first home using that package. They're not sure. What they want to see is if people will actually get into that first rental with a lower price. Go on. You make commissions. There's $35,000 checks. Now, here's a question. This guy right here, it took him 14 months to make his first $35,000 check referring people. It took him 8 months, then 6 months, then 5, 4, 3. He's now down to every other month getting a $35,000 check. Why is it only taking him every other month?
Because all those people that's buying houses underneath them, they're doubling.
So it took a certain amount of people to buy 75 homes, right? And if Strongbrook's doing what they say they do, you're turning 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16. So if people are buying 2 homes and then turning them into 4, is it going to take less time to get to that next check?
You know, when
And
I
less
was
time.
looking at that, that's one of my biggest selling points, was the fact that obviously people are buying homes. And I've known Gary
Norris?
Norris
Yep.
before this and whatever else, and to find out that he was doing this, and I knew who he was, and the fact that every time that happens, that means that 75 homes were bought or sold underneath him. That means that obviously it's not like one of those things where you go in and you're hoping that people are buying homes.
Right.
I mean, that's proof right there. I
Yep.
mean, he's got how many checks? And that's just underneath him. That's 75, 75, 75.
Yeah, they bought
I think
over.
that's amazing.
They bought close to 3,000 homes. Help people buy close to 3,000 homes now. And the system works. Like I said, up to the last time I asked them, they haven't lost a single house to foreclosure. They may have lost one now over the last couple of months. I don't know, but up to that point, they hadn't. So you can do the optional one. You can come in with the $500 and start getting ready, or you can go in one of the packages. A lot of tax benefits. Now we have over 90 people that are working with us right now. We've helped quite a few of them. We're up to 16 houses, Tracy. You remember how many houses now? 14. 14. We've helped people buy 14 houses. And there's a lot more that are in the works right now buying more houses. But the goal is to help them buy the houses. So we like to work as a team. If you really felt this was a chance to take control of your financial future, do you think you could find a way to make it happen? If we sat down with you and this really looked like it would work for you, could you find a way to make it happen? Is there anything that would get in your way from starting today? So where to start? If you have all 3 and you like the idea, get in, start buying houses. Buy your first one. See how it works. We'll prove it to you. If you have a job or just money, or if you have any money to joint venture on a property, we can get you started now. Let's talk. We can get you to partner with people. We have a lot of people that have retired that are looking for partners. That one guy that bought 10 this year, that's what he did. He's retired. He's 74. He needed partners because he wanted to buy 10 houses. Do you have 1,000, 3,000 or more? We can partner together on one house. We get 10 people together, now we can buy a house. If not, we'll teach you how to make 1,000 to 5,000 this month if you can work hard. Now, realize you have to work for it. Nobody gets rich quick. This is real estate. This is effort. But if you put the effort in, you can get the money out.
But are you saying that's one of those things you actually have to do with action, and I don't get to blame you afterwards for not?
Sorry. If you want to do real estate, it's on you. We'll teach you how to do it, but it's all on you. We've got a 90-day think about it plan. Before, keep thinking about it, you'll look the same after. So get your questions answered. The only reason we bring that up is if this is something that interests you, sit down, find out more, see if it's something that'll work for you. Don't just sit there and stew on it. Get your questions answered. See if it'll work. The 10,000 mile journey starts with the first step. So we're not going to go over testimonials tonight because it's taking me a little bit longer than expected, but, well, we're not going to do it. We'll go on. Okay, so that's Strongbrook. I want to thank all you guys for coming. We're going to put some music on. Get your questions answered after. If you guys like Strongbrook and you want to get a free game plan, you want somebody to sit down with you and say, what are you looking to do? Let's see if we can work with you. Fill out these forms. We'll get them to Strongbrook. They have their game plan masters that will actually sit down with you and come and just kind of see what you want to do. If you want to get in on the partnering side where you're doing more, you're working a little bit more with us, you want to look at properties that we have locally, stuff like that, meet with me or Dustin. We'll be happy to sit down with you. We can set some time up. Usually it takes about an hour. If you're sitting with Dustin, it'll take 3. He likes to go over things in great detail. I'm not as detail oriented as him, but he will go over everything you want to find out about. So thanks for coming. We'll play some music. We're gonna do another recording here a little bit later for real estate agents. So if you guys want to stick around, you can. But get your questions answered. Thank you. Let's see here.
Yeah, stop that webinar and we'll just start another.